Good morning, guys. We are back for another European, what we've renamed it the European Journey, right? As its journey, obviously, to the European finals. So we've got the Champions League and UE and the Europa League previews. Got Bargav with me. Bargav, you look very blowy, man.
I know. I don't know why. Let me go back in and go back out real quick.
Yeah, just check your DMs. Just check the private chat first. Oh, okay. Yeah, so hopefully once he gets all that sorted out, we'll be good to go. Hopefully Daniel the Blind Goon will be coming on. Hopefully. But if not, we'll manage otherwise. But yeah. Let's get straight into it, shall we? We'll start with the Champions League, the biggest one of all. The one that Arsenal are definitely not in. Have no right to be in either. Let's get to some of the comments first before we go anywhere. Yes, European time. Do this magnificent channel a like. Subscribe if you haven't. Imagined what you'd miss. Share with your virtual worlds. Donate to Children's Liberties Foundation. Link below. Yes, it's in the description. Go and donate. Yes, thank you, Strip Bear, as always. Really opinionated, but I like that conviction. So do share this channel to your wonderful friends and family. Let's get this growing. Big up. Talk Manu as ever, bit in the building. Just reading my stuff. My sentencing and English needs work. Yeah, even I was struggling to read that a little bit, but there you go. I know what you mean, but at least we understand where you're coming from. So, yeah, big up to that closed show. Yeah, I feel I've got the Blind Crew coming on, so we're gonna keep it closed. Might get time to open it up if we want a little bit of debate. But yeah, we're going straight into it, and we've got obviously tonight. Obviously, I'm hosting a watch along for Real Madrid versus Liverpool, so do check in at 7:45 for that. We've got Man City Dortmund. Then tomorrow we've got Bayern versus PSG and Porto versus Chelsea. These are the quarterfinals, first leg of the UEFA Champions League. And yeah, we're going to go into sort of each one. So Real Madrid versus Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool coming off the back of what we should say an easy bloody win, shall we say? It was an easy win against Arsenal, and they seem to be doing better in European competition than before. And we've got the Blind Gooner in the building. How are you, Daniel?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Apologies, I'm a little bit late. It took me ages to set up my computer up, and it was it decided it wanted to try and do updates.
Yeah, I understand what you mean, but hey, pleasure to have you on. But yeah, we're just going through the first one anyway. So it's Real Madrid versus Liverpool. What are your thoughts to this game, Daniel?
I think Liverpool could beat Real Madrid, you know. I really do think they could, but then it kind of depends on whether Real Madrid turn up or not. But listen, Liverpool are always favourites in European games just because of their European history. So yeah, I'm probably going to say Liverpool probably win this game.
Yeah, I think also there's no is Hazard. That would be a good question as well, but I don't believe there's any Sergio Ramos, at least for the first leg, is what I keep hearing. So that's a massive blow to Real Madrid's sort of chances, really. And Real Madrid, they've not been the same team, I feel. They've not been the same team since they let go of Ronaldo to Juventus. What do you look at the state with La Liga? Because Barcelona are on the same team. Real Madrid aren't the same team. Atletico Madrid weren't very great in the Champions League this against Chelsea. It's sort of the standards of the La Liga has dropped a little bit. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think they have. I think the standards have massively dropped in La Liga. I think the problem. I think what it comes down to as well is that you look at the teams like Barca, you look at the teams like Real Madrid. They're not able to spend the kinds of money that they normally would on big players. We know that Real Madrid have been trying to get Mbappe for ages. We know that Barcelona have tried to really strengthen. You know, they were sniffing around Aubameyang all summer. So but they have not got the finances. And Barcelona especially is in one hell of a mess right now. But do you know what I mean? It's one of them, innit? I think it's like that for all clubs at the moment because of the situation that everybody's in.
Yeah, I'd say that, but I think with Barcelona doing a massive problem is it. That's why a lot of people are speculating whether Messi will leave to try and sort of raise some money for the club. I mean, Bargav, what do you see the state with La Liga at the minute?
La Liga at the minute?
Yeah.
So yeah, they're in like I think financial trouble for sure. Real Madrid situation I'm not too sure about right now. The reason is because they have a lot of assets that they can sell and actually keep their status, like Odegaard, Ceballos. They have so many players that they can sell to make up a lot of that. With Barcelona, yeah, I mean it's pretty well documented. I think Messi's probably gonna go, but he could probably stay because that would probably be good for the fans that he stays. So they'll probably make it happen. But they also have players that they could potentially sell. And honestly, if we're gonna be like, if we can be a little bit better, we should maybe go after one of their midfielders because they'll probably look for funds anyway. But yeah, like as far as La Liga goes, I think Atletico is definitely now like bridging that gap between the top two. I think I do see that happening. Some of the other teams it's getting a little bit more competitive in that league. That's what I see La Liga as right now.
Yeah. So what do you think with the first? I think the first leg. What do you think with the scoreline? Because obviously with Real Madrid, I think it's in a neutral stadium anyway.
Yeah.
So what do you think the score is going to be? That Bargav.
That's a tough one, right? Because Liverpool are in form right now. They showed it. They played pretty well. So I mean, you got to give it up to them. Real Madrid can turn up though, and they do have some players. It's not like I can see that being a draw the first game, and then with everything to play for the second game. So I'd probably go with like 1-1 tomorrow, 1-1 for today's, and then we'll figure it out how once the pleasantries are exchanged.
Yeah, Daniel, what are you going to go for, mate?
Do you know what? I'm probably this one's a tricky one because you say that Liverpool's in form, but they've not been doing too well of lately, and I don't really compare them coming back into form with the way they played against us because listen, anybody who plays crap usually turns up against us, right? So I think it's going to be a tight game. I think because listen, Liverpool, I think they might just edge it because of the European, the European history. But I do agree with Bargav on one thing, that it's going to be, this leg is not going to be as entertaining as the second leg. I think it is just the first legs of ties aren't usually that cagey. It's usually the second leg when people have got, when they, teams know what they've got to do, and it's a lot more competitive. So I kind of expect that. I don't imagine both teams will take many risks this evening. I think it will be one of those games where they just feel each other out, and if either Liverpool or Real Madrid try to push for the win, I can't see them going full strength and full pelt at this fixture. I think it's going to come down to second fixture.
Uh,
But I'm
I
probably
hear
gonna go for like a 1-1 draw, maybe a 0-0 draw, something like that. I don't think it's going to be as entertaining as the second game, but I might be wrong. I might be wrong because you know what? It's this season in every single competition has just been a funny old season. So you predict stuff and then the polar opposite happens. So yeah, it's just going to be an interesting game, this one.
Yeah, for me, I do feel that you can't write off Liverpool in any sort of leg. I've just had to look at them because someone was mentioning about Hazard, and Hazard apparently is not in the squad for Liverpool according to goal.com. So if that's true, then it's another massive advantage for Liverpool. And again, it's just despite how poorly they are in the league, you can't write them off in a Champions League game at all. I just feel that for Madrid, they weren't spectacular against. I thought it was Atalanta that they beat. So I feel that Liverpool will probably get the upper hand. I think it'll be only like a 1-0 or 2-0 in the first leg. Then I think it'll still be up for grabs when we get to the second leg next week. So, but I'll go for a 1-0, 2-0 on this one for Liverpool. But yeah, we'll move on to the next one, which is Man City versus Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, Man City versus Borussia Dortmund. Everyone's going to be talking about Haaland, especially as he's linked to Man City and Chelsea, heavily linked. So, yeah, Daniel, what do you say to Man City and Dortmund? By the way, sorry, just before you go, everyone, please do share this while we're live. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, right? Do all that jazz. But go on, Daniel.
Yeah, do you know what? I actually think I know Dortmund have got Haaland, but I actually think Man City will win this quite comfortably. I honestly do. I think Man City will win this quite comfortably. They're in form. And do you know the thing about Man City as well? It's the one competition that's always eluded them is the Champions League, especially under Guardiola. He's not won it. And I just think this season Man City are gonna be trying to really win this competition. I said when Chelsea knocked out Atletico, I said I could probably see it being a Man City Chelsea final, and I still stick by that. I actually do think that Man City will win this quite comfortably. I know Dortmund have got Haaland and he's a fantastic player, but I just think Man City as a team are so much better than Dortmund right now. And I just think that while Dortmund have got Haaland, Man City have got so many other quality players. Do you know what? I can see this. It's fitting, isn't it? Right? I can see Man City getting to the final and Aguero having some part to play. Just to sign off his career at Man City. So yeah, I think Man City. For me, I think they'll win this tie comfortably over the two legs.
Yeah, Bargav, what do you think, mate?
Yeah, I think I agree with Daniel. It's like a feel-good story for Aguero to get that goal in the final, right? And perfect ending for him in that sense. But as far as this game goes, the other side of it is I think Dortmund are a decent team. Definitely, like if it's Haaland's last year, he'd probably want to do something at Dortmund before he leaves. It could also be Sancho's last year, if the rumors are true. So Sancho coming back is a storyline for this one. Obviously, like he left Man City and then went to Dortmund, and it wasn't really the best of. He didn't leave in the best of ways in that sense. But overall, like I see this one also being like, if Haaland shows up and just scores too, which he did against like PSG last year, it could be the same thing. I can see Dortmund winning this personally, but it'd probably be like I'm gonna go with like a 2-2 for some reason. I see goals in this. Game.
Yes. I think with Brucia Dortmund, it's going to be a close game, but the way Man City are in form right now and the way they play now, I think their biggest. I think it's going to be their biggest opportunity to win a Champions League with Guardiola, and I've said I've backed Man City to go and win it. So this is the sort of team they need to go and beat. I mean, that or Bayern Munich. So for me, I would say definitely I'm going for Man City, but I do feel it'll be like a 2-1. I don't think it'll be like one person will keep a clean sheet. So yeah. Moving on to the Bayern PSG game. Got to quickly just go through this now because it's taking some time now. Bayern PSG. Bargav, I know this is a game you were looking forward to. What are you expecting, mate?
What am I expecting? This is one of the most anticipated games. I think anticipated ties for anybody when they look at the Champions League. I think these are the two best teams in the competition. Obviously, and Neymar's back. I'm still trying to find out what kind of form he's in. Definitely, it's no excuses on that. Neymar has to show up tomorrow. I mean, this is a big time player, gets all the pressure, so he will. It's going to be a big game for him, and they want to avenge that loss last year because it was pretty heartbreaking, losing in the final last year. So, for me, I think PSG is probably going to. I want PSG to take this tie, and I think they will take this tie. But Bayern's going to put up a pretty good fight because they're pretty well coached. They just won I think they wrapped up the league just yesterday too, so they're buzzing from that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I see like a 1-1 draw and then everything to play for again in the second leg.
Yeah, Daniel, what are you saying, mate?
This is a very interesting one. I actually, I don't know. Like, I think PSG are probably going to win this one for me. I just look at it. I look at Bayern Munich, and they are a decent team, but I don't know. Like, something tells me this because they're the holders psychologically. The holders always drop out around this time. So I think PSG might just edge this tie over the two games. But then, do you know what? PSG haven't got the greatest of records either at this stage. So it's going to be a certainly interesting tie. But I'm not so sure. I couldn't really call it. This is one of the games, and I looked at the fixtures. And this is a game that was probably I found really hardest to kind of gauge and call because, they're both decent teams. They've both got decent players. So it's going to be who turns up. I'm probably go for a 1-1 draw in this game. And then I think that's probably a fair assumption.
Yeah, I think so. It's hard. I think it's too hard to call because obviously it's the final of last year, and I do feel that I think PSG have learned a lot from that game in the final. So for me, I would not bet against any of them winning, and I would say it would probably be a cagey one. I'll go with you, like a cagey 1-1 draw. For me, I think they'll be so worried about conceding too many. It would be very, 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 a very tactical battle, definitely. Moving on to Chelsea Porto, and obviously Chelsea getting probably the most easiest path to the final, should we say? Porto Chelsea. Daniel, what's you thinking on that one?
Chelsea will win this comfortably. I think both games. I think Chelsea will win this comfortably. Listen, they've got a good defensive record. I know they're kind of massively messed up against West Brom, but I think Chelsea are going to win this comfortably. I think over the 2 legs, I could probably see Chelsea winning this maybe like by 3 or 4 goals. And putting the tie to bed in the first game. But yeah, I can't see anything other than a Chelsea win, and they're going to go through to the next round. I can't see Porto not. I'd be very surprised if Porto knocked them out. But yeah, I'm going to go with Chelsea comfortable winners in this tie.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll be covering it on Wednesday evening, so make sure you tune in for that. Bargav, what are you saying, mate?
I mean, this is where Tuchel earns his money. I mean, he has the squad to beat Porto. He has one of the better draws to get to the Champions League final. So I think the expectations are that they're going to get through this tie. Will they fulfill it? You got to give Porto a little bit of respect because they did beat Juve last round. And that was you got to give them a little bit of respect because they did beat a really quality team in that. So, but I will say I think this one Porto is going to be fighting for their lives in this tie again. We'll see what happens. True underdog story can happen, but I see like a 2-0 Chelsea.
Okay. I'd love to say it'd be an all-English final in Europa too, but I was a very strong feeling it ain't happening. Yeah, for me, yeah, Chelsea like should be comfortably winning this. I'll be surprised if it didn't. Nothing against Porto. I just feel that they've got a stronger squad. They've got a better manager now in Tuchel. Just read it. Well, many people are saying that Chelsea comfortably, but let's not forget that Porto was. Yeah, they did beat Juventus as well. Yeah, so I won't necessarily say an absolute walkover, but I do expect Chelsea to come through that, right? Especially if they want to be competing further into the tournament. But yeah, what we do now, that's them covered. So we're just going to go to the UEFA Europa League, and obviously we'll start with Arsenal, Slavia Prague. We'll be doing a preview to that at 4 p.m. But yeah, Arsenal Slavia Prague. Daniel, what's your thinking on the first leg of that?
It's a difficult one, this, because on paper we should be winning this comfortably. And the only reason I say that is because we have enough to win this comfortably. But do you know what? I'm not filled with massive amounts of confidence for this game. I'm really not. Like I listen, Slavia Prague, and I said this when we got drawn against them, that it could either go one of 2 ways. If we apply ourselves right, then it will be quite comfortable for us. But if we apply ourselves like we did on Saturday, then I tell you what, Slavia Prague are going to have an absolute field day, and they could easily knock us out. Because let's be honest here, they knocked out a very good Leicester side. They knocked out a very decent Rangers side, who I believe Rangers and Leicester are far better than us. Have been far better than us this season. So it's, I don't know, like I'm just, it's got to be how we apply ourselves. But you know what? I'm gonna probably go for a and a lot of people are gonna probably laugh at this when I say this. I'm gonna go for a 2 or 3-0 Arsenal win, because I and the only reason I say that is because listen, Arteta and come out on Saturday and said that was unacceptable, and I can't see the players being able to get away with that that kind of performance in the Europa League. Because let's be honest, the Europa League is our season, isn't it? It's our season. You know, like if we go out of the Europa League, we might as well stop watching Arsenal for the rest of the season, because it's done, it's finished. We ain't getting nowhere in the league. So I don't know. I'm probably going to go for a 2 or 3-0. But do you know what? I could easily be wrong on that. I could easily, it could easily be a lot closer than that.
Yeah, Bargav, what are you saying?
Yeah, for our game, right? For our game, pretty much, I'm gonna save everything for the preview later today because obviously I don't know much about their team. We're gonna learn a lot about our their team today. When we do the preview in about like a couple.
I looked at DT's interview after the Liverpool game, and they said they're very energetic, very high press, very pacey, and like I said, so if we play like we did against Liverpool, we're gonna be screwed.
That's what people said. Like too is that's the reviews I've heard too of Slavia Prague, because they said like the style of football that they play is going to surprise a lot of Arsenal fans. That's like the quote I've been hearing. But for me, like I'm gonna see, like I'm gonna look into it like in the next couple hours, and then we're gonna do the preview a little bit later, and we're gonna have the Slavia Prague fan on later today, and we're gonna discuss just like the positional battles and everything. So I'm gonna save the scoreline for later, but for our game, if we play our game, we can beat anybody. So I'll leave it there for now, and I'll come back to it.
Okay. Yeah, for me, if they're saying what they're saying about Slavia Prague is true, and how they play their football, oh geez, we're gonna have to be on top of our game for both legs. And it's the thing, in a one-off game, it might be all right. Arteta put an absolute masterclass together and beating us in a one-off game, but over two legs, right? We struggled to. Even like Olympiacos won a game against us. Struggled to get through Benfica, and they weren't exactly. No offense to them, they weren't exactly brilliant sides. So, yeah, if we play like we did against Liverpool, I don't even want to know what's going to happen. But I'd say 2-1 Arsenal, but I'm not confident on that. That's just me really being optimistic on that. So, yeah, we move to Granada versus Man United. Yeah, Bargav, what you think about Granada, Man United?
Again, this could be like another. From what I've heard, this could be another surprise game, but that's because don't know much about the opposition. But Man United this year have done really well in the in Europe and in the league. So in a game like this, I think they're going to be set up right. I can see them winning, honestly. They have a path to the final, which is a little bit better than ours this season. So I'm gonna go 2-0 Man United on that one.
Yeah, Daniel, what are you thinking about with Man United?
I think Man United will win this comfortably. Although I do disagree with you, Bargav, on one point where you said Man United have an easier path to the final. Mate, I tell you what, when they meet Ajax or Roma, that's going to be no easy game. But yeah, I think they should get through this tie comfortably. And it is, whether it's an all English final does depend on who wins the next tie and who gets through. And but Man United have been flying high, haven't they, in the league? They've been flying high in the league. They've been really doing well in Europe as well. But it depends. I can't see them slipping up against Granada. Honestly, can't see them slipping up. I think it should be comfortable for them, and then it just comes down to the semi-final, really. But yeah, I'm probably going to go with, for this game, probably going to go with a probably 2 or 3-0 Man United win. I don't really know too much about Granada, so I can't really sort of say too much about them. But I just think on paper, Man United has got more than Granada, and I think they'll win it comfortably.
Yeah. For me, if Man United want to be winning this tournament, then they should be beating Granada. Then there shouldn't be really any excuses. I know Granada are a decent side, but Man United should be if they are favourites to win this, then this shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, for me, I can't see nothing but Man United winning this game about 2-0 in the first leg. So yeah, I expect them to get the job done on this very, very quickly. Next up is Ajax versus Roma, which looks like another decent tie in the Europa League. Daniel, what do you think with Roma and Ajax?
This is going to be very close. They're both decent teams, but for me, I think Ajax just slightly edges this tie. And I know we're only looking at the first games right now, but for me, I think Ajax just slightly edges it for me, and I'm probably going to go 2-1 Ajax.
Yeah, Bargav, what do you say, mate?
Yeah, like I'm probably gonna go with Ajax. Ajax. I didn't mean to say like it's kind of interesting because for me, Roma's decent team, but for some reason I see Ajax having just based on their development and as a team. I think they win in the style of play and the style that they play. I think it's probably gonna give them the edge in this game. Probably I'm gonna go with like. I'll go with 2-1 first leg for Ajax.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I think any pair of them could any one of them could take the tie.
Oh, sorry, Suzanne. It's all gone. They took the other chair.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah, for me, I think Roma, any one of them could take it. So I'd say that I'll just put it on mute for a minute. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say for it, I would take. Do you know what? I think Ajax should win, but I think Roma could win as well. So I would actually fancy Roma for this, to be honest. I would say 1-1 in the first leg, and then it's all up for grabs in the second leg. It'd be that close. It could go. It's that close. It could go either way. And then the last one, obviously, is Dynamo Zagreb versus Villarreal. Dynamo Zagreb playing. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, Bargav, what are you saying?
I think this is a tie to watch, actually. Like, for me, like, these two teams are pretty even. Also, Zagreb, I think, obviously, they beat our rivals 3-0 in the last game, right? So we have to like look out for that one. For me, I'd go with I want to go with Zagreb. I'm gonna pick the underdog on this one. But obviously, like that's just what I want to see.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
It's cool. It's cool for the underdog to win.
Just because you just don't like Emery, do you?
No. That's not the reason.
Yeah.
It's better for us to get to the final.
We ain't getting to that. Trust me. I think.
As a fan, I would like.
Daniel.
I don't know. Like, I actually think Zagreb will win this one. I actually think Zagreb will win this one comfortably. I think they're going to be on a high from beating Tottenham because let's be honest, right? When they went into the second leg, nobody expected them to even get through that tie. And I think, games do funny things to teams' momentum, and the way they come back. Yes, we know that Tottenham just absolutely bottled it, but the way they come back, you got to give credit to them. And I think they're going to be looking at this. Do you know what? They've got a real chance. Having said that, Emery and Villarreal, listen, we know that Emery's got a good record in the Europa League, just not when he's managing Arsenal. He's got a good record. And do you know what? I'd like to say Zagreb, but it could easily be Villarreal. It could easily be an Arsenal-Villarreal semi-final. And, there's been a lot of talk of Emery, Arteta, who's the better manager? And I've just got this feeling it's going to be that. Do you know what I mean? It's going to come down to Arsenal, Villarreal. But listen, it's like Bargo said, it's too hard to call this tie. It could easily go either way. And do you know what? I'm probably going to go for this tie. I'm probably going to go for a 1-1 draw. And I think in the second game, it's going to be who wants it more.
Yeah, I feel with I think with I just like you said, I feel I've got this feeling it's going to be Arsenal. If it's going to be anyone, if it's going to be any semi-final, it's going to be Arsenal Villarreal, right? And hopefully then I'll prove right that Emery's better than Arteta. I Villarreal and I think Emery's with Villarreal. I'd say they're still one of the teams to watch out for to win it. To be honest, we know how good Emery's been in the Europa League. I mean, he managed to get a team that was supposed to be worse than the squad we have now to the final. So he's a very specialist in this tournament. So if anything, I would say that I can't write out. Yeah, I can't rule out Villarreal winning this, but I think it'll be close. I think it'll be about 2-1 first leg, I'd say, and then who knows what will be happening in the second leg. But I do think that Villarreal will get through this to the semi-final. Then if we win our game, then it'll be a test. Then it'll be a real test. Just go through some of the comments. Villarreal to win the Europa League. Do you agree with that? Villarreal to win the Europa League?
I don't. I just because I think Ajax, Roma, or Man United have a little bit more than Villarreal. I think they could certainly be in the mix for a shout to be in the final. But I just think when you look at those three teams, Ajax, Roma, or Man United, I think just that they've got more than Villarreal. But then Emery's got a good record, so it could easily be. But I don't know. Like, and don't forget as well, if it's Arsenal Villarreal, Arsenal have already beaten Villarreal in a semi-final before, so that could come into play. But you just never know. The final, look, I don't know. Like it's very, very it's going to be very, very interesting. I wouldn't like to call who's going to be in it, because it just depends on who. I think at this stage of the competition, it comes down to who wants it more, who's going to want it more, and you can't listen. You can't write us off just because. I know we've done really, really crap in the league, and I know that Arteta is not the greatest of managers, and I've said this for time, but you can't deny that when the chips, he got us through a difficult path in the FA Cup. I know it's a different competition, but he got us through that. When you remember back when we predicted, remember back then when Arsenal fans, when we saw who was left in it, and we played Man City and then Chelsea in the final, and everybody was going, "Oh, well, listen, that's it. It's done. We're out. It's done." And we went and smashed both of those ties. So there's an element of that, but it just depends. Like there's too much to say that that's going to happen again. I personally, my gut feeling. And if I'm being brutally honest, like my gut feeling before was that we would make it to the final, but you know what? My gut feeling now is that I think it's going to be, either possibly Villarreal and maybe either Ajax or Roma or Man United. And but you know what, Zagreb. Zagreb's a very interesting team as well because I think they're going to be the surprise team that's left in it. Is Zagreb? They could be the surprise team. So it's tricky. I know I've kind of just gone about around the houses like a bent taxi driver right now, but do you know what I mean? Like it's one of them. It's hard to call.
Yeah, it is, and that's probably why we like it. Probably like it that much as well. Yeah, Bargav. Do you think we'll? I mean, I'd say that. I would honestly say about with us is that we did manage to beat Man City and Chelsea in a FA Cup, but it was in a one-off game, and these are two-leg ties that in the quarterfinals and semi-finals in. So it's both games. It's two games we've got to perform in, and that's why I think with them they've done well in Europe. But the Bargav, Villarreal. Same question to you. Do you think they can win it?
The answer is it can happen, but will it happen? Probably. They have to really overachieve. That's the thing, and they have to have like some things come into play. I think with any team to win the league, win a competition like this, there's a lot of factors that do come into play. Like, I mean, we have injuries right now that we have to deal with this tie. Like, definitely with Tierney, without Tierney and without like Luis. So we have to like adjust those, and we have to adjust to those and and depending on like for this competition for Villarreal to win it, I think they might have the coach that makes those decisions that can set them up right, but they're gonna need some moments of magic. So it could happen, but I just don't see it happening because I think the other teams have quality that really quality and the expectations to win a competition like this and the pressure to win it, that I think in the end, like it could be too much for them to win.
So you're saying that I mean, you mentioned about our injuries. So you're saying if Arsenal got to a semi-final, they would beat Villarreal?
It depends. I mean, if it depends on what Arsenal shows up. If we're set up right, I mean, sometimes like you know how unpredictable Arteta is. Eventually, one of these times, like he doesn't get it right. Other teams are going to take advantage, and we could get smashed in the semis. But if he does get it right over two legs, we can beat anybody. We kind of have to take it game by game on that one.
Yeah, but I do think with Villarreal that I think when it comes to the semi-final, even if it's Slavia Prague or, for me, if it's Slavia Prague or even Arsenal, I do feel they're the better team. I do feel that.
Like Villarreal in general is better than Arsenal?
At the minute, yeah. On form.
I don't know. I mean, on form, yes. On form, yeah. But
a better manager. He knows how to do it in his tournament.
That's what, like 3 weeks from now, though. So a lot could happen. So
I know that, but let's not forget as well. Yeah. Let's not forget as well. Emery's going to have a lot to prove. Remember the way he was, out of a job, and he wasn't backed properly in the summer like the club have backed Arteta, which is absolutely baffling. Absolutely baffling. So Emery's going to have, if it is Arsenal and Arteta, it's going to be an extra incentive to try and do well, to try and show the club that they kind of messed up. And I do feel sorry for Emery. I honestly do feel sorry for Emery because the club have obviously thrown money at Arteta, and I know that a lot of people say that they haven't, but in respects of what Emery wanted, they gave Arteta what he wanted. Do you know what I mean? He wanted Partey, he wanted Gabriel, he wanted Willian, got all three of them. Whereas Emery wanted Zaha, got Pepe. He wanted Partey, got Torreira. Do you know what I mean? So I think if it is Villarreal who we play, if we get through, then I think Emery's going to have a lot to prove. And I think the way he come out after he left the job at Arsenal, there's a lot of anger and resentment there. So I think I think secretly he's looking for that to happen, Arsenal to play Villarreal.
No,
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with you on the Emery thing. I mean, I do feel sorry for him because I think as a manager, he did change up our system a lot of times, and he adapted to other teams a lot better than what Arteta's done. I will say that. Now, the one thing is with Emery was I just didn't think he could judge like I didn't think he could manage like big time players. So I didn't think he was a top coach. And for our club, I didn't think he was like the best fit at that time. But as far as Emery as a whole, I do feel sorry for him in the sense that Raul Sinelli pretty much tried to control him. Basically, it sounds like it because he didn't give him anything. I mean, you're right, Zaha. If we Zaha and Partey, if we had both of them, I think we wouldn't be in the situation right now. So it all comes down to management.
Do you know the thing is?
I would say, sorry, I would say there's a lot of pressure. That is a lot of that's a lot of asking from Zaha. Don't forget, he's only performed in one club at Crystal Palace, which, let's be honest, they're not his level, right?
Zaha's good, dude. Zaha's good.
I know Zaha's good, but Lille with Pepe, right? Pepe was still performing. Lille, I would say, are better than Crystal Palace, right? And yet Pepe was outperforming in Crystal Palace.
I do feel so. Yeah, come on, the French league, mate. The French league is not that great. And do you know the thing with Zaha as well, right? He always turns up against the big teams. Always turns up against the big teams. What's Pepe done against the big teams?
Exactly.
Pepe, like you take Liverpool for a case in point. Yet on the weekend, many a times Pepe had the ball, just passed it sideways, backwards, cutting in rather than taking players on. Zaha would take players on. He'd twist that defender up left, right, and centre, and he would make it difficult. Look what he done. I know Hart can't really compare because he wasn't really a great player, but look what he'd done to Carl Jenkinson in that Crystal Palace defeat. He had him on toast every single game. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I think Zaha would have been a better fit than Pepe, if I'm being honest. And Curtis said it spot on his channel yesterday. We've got to start asking questions of Pepe. We've got to start asking questions what type of player he is, because he shows moments of brilliance. But for me, Pepe sums up what's wrong with this Arsenal team. He'll have one good performance, and then so many games he'll just go missing. So yeah, I feel a bit sorry for Unai Emery. I really do. And there's obviously some kind of agenda there because obviously Arteta's got a worse record than Unai Emery, and what saved Arteta's job is winning the FA Cup and having no fans in the stadium, in my personal opinion. But they couldn't wait to get Emery out the door. So it's a tricky one, isn't it? I think that if it is Arsenal Villarreal in the semis, I wouldn't be surprised if Emery throws the kitchen sink at this game. Just not for much that of getting to a final, but for getting one over on the club that's essentially hung him out to dry.
I mean, Emery, like you just said, like the agenda wise, there is a big. This is why I didn't want to get into this question, because I didn't think either of them are good enough for the club personally. Like, I didn't think either Emery or Arteta were like the manager to like bring us to like Champions League glory, because I thought that it was going to take some time. But at the same time, I could see Emery being the better manager in that than Arteta. But that. Every time like this question gets asked, there's always like an agenda-driven thing that gets attached to it, and that's I didn't want that red tape with it. But overall, I do feel sorry for Emery in how how that part of it went.
Yeah, getting the team final and fifth after replacing him under 20 years service shows that good in managers. Second season, his players showed no respect for him. Just look at his CV. Pepe's best performances this season was on the left wing, and Arteta is putting him back on the. That is the thing. When he started playing well on the left wing, he then drops him and then now starts putting back on the right again. This is the problem. As Pepe is a confident
I'd agree
player,
with that.
And
I'd agree with that.
We're starting to see good performance out of him, and then what does Arteta do? Drops him.
Willian, same thing.
Same, yeah. And now
I'd agree with Pepe being good on the left. He was good on the left. He was starting to come into some form. But you know what? And it comes back down to Emery's trying to, Arteta is trying to get Aubameyang into the side when Aubameyang should be nowhere near this team right now.
It's starting to feel like that, actually.
Should be on the
He should be nowhere near this team. He should be nowhere near this team right now when you've got Pepe and Martinelli. I think it should be Pepe and Martinelli fighting it out for that position. And I think Aubameyang should just sit on the bench until he actually decides to turn up. And look, anybody who's watched my channel knows that I've been a big supporter of Aubameyang. But I'm losing patience with the fact that he just doesn't try. He doesn't bother. He doesn't give 100% what he used to. And he used to play well on the left, right? Aubameyang. He used to get back, but with his age, he can't do that now. And his main attribute is scoring goals. So he needs to be a player that comes into the box. He needs to be a player that you know everybody else does the work and he just does the finishing, because that's what he's good at now. But Arteta seems to put him on the left. And I don't think Aubameyang and Lacazette can play together. I think it's one or the other. Because you look at when Lacazette's playing on his own without Aubameyang in the team, he's so much better. So yeah, I don't, as painful as it is to say, because I'm a big fan of Aubameyang, I don't want to see him anywhere near this team for the rest of the season. And that sounds really harsh. I don't want to. I want to see Martinelli and I want to see Pepe. Martinelli, I think, can do a job there. Give him a succession of games. I think he can do well, but I don't want to see Aubameyang.
I'm up to a point where Aubameyang, I think it's to a point we need to get rid of him and find someone else. For me, I feel we need to find someone else now because he's getting older, and like you said, his main attribute is scoring goals. He hasn't got the pace he had. He doesn't hold the ball up, so as well as Lacazette. So for me, if the only way he could score goals is running into space, I think he's now a time where he needs to find probably a slower league, maybe Serie A. I don't think the pace of the league is getting too quick for him. So for me, I just feel that, and yeah, for me, I just feel now we need to let him go and find someone else younger that could fit in the plans. Fit with like the likes of Martinelli, Saka, the people that are the players that are future of this club. What do you think, Bargav?
As far as like where a club should be going towards, yeah, dude, I definitely think.
Aubameyang.
Oh, with Aubameyang, yeah, I think. Yeah, like he's a good for the rest of the season. I think he's a really good super sub. He brings some energy when he does come off the bench. He showed that when he played against Emery. I think we should do that a couple games, and then depending on how he does in training, I think it should be at like the coach's decision whether he starts in the final, if we get there, or if depending on how the rest of the season goes. But as far as like. Yeah, we do have to look at that this summer, because I mean that's like we can probably get two quality players in different positions. If we can even loan them out, there's some options we have. If Barcelona really wants him, we can loan him out, right? Realistically, so there's definitely options out there for him. And if Barcelona is in crisis, they'll take that and give us like another player. It's like there's things that we can get really creative, but that just depends on our management in the summer.
Yeah, we'll take Messi.
Yeah, Messi.
Yeah, we'll take Messi. You have Aubameyang, we'll take Messi. You got a dream, haven't you? You got a dream.
You got a dream.
Yeah, there's loads of things I want to dream about, but it's not gonna happen.
So I guess we should wrap it up there, because I mean it was a pretty good show.
Yeah, I think it's been a really good preview to UEFA Champions League, Europa League. So everyone, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new, and we'll be back for the preview at 4 p.m. But like I said, everyone stay safe, stay well, and we'll catch you later on. Take care.